Most magnificent beings, allow me to drop this truth on you. No one is coming to save you or I from our bad habits. Therefore, you and I must engage in those things necessary to change those habits. But you and I are the only ones who can accomplish that. And this is why a lot of the things that you and I have to do is of extreme importance. It's not easy to overcome bad habits, but it is vitally necessary to do so. Training is only one aspect of the equation. You cannot outtrain a bad diet. And what is a bad diet? That is different for each individual, although we have some overlapping, overarching consistency about what is healthy and what is not. However, depending on the condition that you and I have placed our human organism in, meaning the condition that you and I have engaged our body in and placed our body in, will determine what is good and what is healthy for us. It is not a clear cut, this will work or that will work, a cookie cutter approach to one's health. This requires some studying. It requires some investigation. It requires something of us to do, meaning we have to figure out what works best for us. Although there are things that would generally work for a mass amount of people, there are other things that simply will not work, meaning we have to dig deep into what it is that is going to be our unique approach to solving the unique problem that we are faced with. And that is the key. We must be willing to do the research. We must be willing to actually do the work. And how can you do work if you don't know the foundational pieces to what it is that you're trying to accomplish? Now, let's break down the primary focus of nutrition. Nutrition's primary focus is the total health of the human body from the biological state of existence, meaning the nutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, and all these things that the body needs, the protein, the carbs, the essential fatty acids, even though they say that carbs are not an essential component that you and I need, still we can benefit from carbs if we're eating the right carbs and if we are in a state of existence where our body can handle those carbs. This is where the issue comes in. So, nutrition is the foundational piece for health. Nutrition is the foundational piece for fat loss. Nutrition is the key to fat loss. Allow me to say that again, because many of you think that exercising is the key. Again, you and I cannot outtrain a bad diet. So the nutrition is the foundational piece. There are several foundational pieces, but nutrition is the foundational piece for the overall health of the body from the inside out, as well as for your body's being able to lose the fat. The other key component that you and I must understand is exercise, specifically resistance training, is for the building of muscle. If you're using weight and you're trying to lose fat by lifting weights without the proper nutrition, you are working backwards. It is highly unlikely that you will do so. The primary benefit of resistance training is to build muscle. Muscle is non-negotiable. If you want a strong, functioning human organism as we age throughout this lifetime, the key is to maintain as much muscle as we possibly can. And this is why resistance training is absolutely necessary. And you want to use heavy weight, 10 to 12 reps, 8 to 12 reps, or 10 to 15 reps, where you actually reach that point of muscle burn and or overload and muscle fatigue where you have to rest. Cardiovascular exercise, another beautiful component, another key tool in the toolbox of optimizing our health. But you and I must understand the primary focus of what is called aerobic cardiovascular exercises. You and I, we must understand that cardiovascular exercise, its primary focus and reasoning and primary benefit is the cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, and the circulatory system. These are all vital and necessary. Cardiovascular exercise, i.e., aerobic exercise, is not the key to fat loss. You see a lot of these youngsters running and they are lean and thin. It is not because they are running. They are able to stay lean and thin because of a number of factors, but the running is just one part of a total workout or total lifestyle that they're living. They're not losing fat because they're running. And I've seen this happen over and over again with many individuals who think that the more cardio they do, the more calories they burn, that they're going to lose fat. That is not necessarily the case. And in most times, it is not the case at all. You need a balanced hormonal situation. Ideally, even if it's not balanced, you still can probably lose some fat. Ideally, you want a balanced hormonal situation to lose fat. Ideally, you want minerals and vitamins, you want those to be at balanced high levels and normal range of the vitamins and minerals that the body needs. And you want to incorporate some resistance training in order to build muscle. Muscle and fat have an inverse relationship to my understanding, meaning the more muscle you have, the less fat that you're going to have. The more fat you have, the less muscle you're going to have. So again, if we want to optimize this human organism, we must understand the key components to why we're doing what we're doing. You're lifting weights to build muscle. If you're not lifting weights to build muscle, then you're not generating the greatest benefit from that action. You're eating nutrition in order to optimize the human organism from within in order to keep everything functioning as it should function. It is the key to our biology. You engage in cardiovascular aerobic exercise in order to strengthen the cardiovascular system, to strengthen the respiratory system, and to strengthen the circulatory system. These are the key components, and these are the primary benefits of nutrition, of resistance training, of cardio slash aerobic exercise training. They have primary benefits that are slightly different. All of them, they work hand in hand with each other if applied properly to bring about the best results for your health. For high level coaching, hit me up. Peace.